Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every boss in PS5 Demon Souls from easiest to hardest. Having never played the original, a lot of things in this game made no sense to me at first, but after a 15 or so hour playthrough, some of them still don't, but we're still doing this. The bosses in this video are 18 in number. We're barely legal, starting from easiest and working our way to hardest. Number 18, King Allant. 5 or so of these battles won't have sound because I took them from a stream I did rather than a separate recording and I had to mute all my hilarious and worthwhile commentary. King Allant sucks, but I wouldn't expect a fleshy sludge poop to be formidable. He's running his mouth the whole fight and at the end when you kill him he's like, "You fool, don't you understand?" I'm like, no, I skipped the cutscenes and this is a Souls game. Number 17, Fool's Idol. The real fool is you if prior to the battle you don't run up the right staircase and run down the right hallway and execute the right magical geriatric. Otherwise, every time you kill the Fool's Idol, it'll just respawn and laugh at you. I always thought of idols as like statues and carved representations. I didn't know alive women could be idols unless they're like American Idols. This chick and her clone's gonna sing some Kelly Clarkson for us? You want to attack the correct one or it's a waste of time. The legit idol shoots bigger magic blasts, and there's a trophy for never guessing wrong, which I don't have because I wanted to spread the love and give everyone a good pounding. And boy do they take some solid damage. Watch them cast their magic circles on the ground and make sure you don't step where they got drawn or this will turn into a cage match. 4 angry witches against 1 paralyzed barbarian. But this is a leisure fight where you can relax and take your time, so it's among the easiest. Number 16, Adjudicator. An Adjudicator. I think I saw this guy at a friend's bar mitzvah once. I believe he was there to perform the circumcision. The Adjudicator is a big fatty with nipple tassels and a pierced gut. Too pierced, I'd say. It looks like it didn't settle in quite right, but who am I to question it? For all I know, giant broken Bladen belly is just the hottest new fashion trend. Maybe he was just trying to bedazzle his spleen. This man is actually so fat that he's immune to all damage. Never let a doctor tell you obesity is bad for your health again. As soon as you reach the 1,000-pound mark, you're immortal. Attacking the area where he misplaced his last cleaver will eventually stagger him and make him fall down, leaving the small glowing bird controlling his body completely vulnerable. I'm like super OP here because I'd already fully completed every other Arkstone beforehand due to my horrible Isle of Storms world tendency, planting a nigh-invincible Black Phantom 10 feet from my spawn point that would immediately run over and one-shot me every time I tried to get anywhere in this godforsaken level, and you try running past him and a gaggle of tumbling skeleton gymnasts who roll faster than you sprint and stagger you every time they crash into you with their bony fucking asses. It was a problem. Co-op summoning and a thief ring eventually solved it. That'll teach me to do something stupid like die while human several times before I knew what world tendency was because I weirdly preferred running around with full health and a free ring slot just like I would in any other Souls game. Silly me. Number 15, Phalanx. One day Miyazaki was like, what if Sludge could think? And thus, so many Souls game enemies were born. The Phalanx is a phalanx of shielded gooey blobs that all work together to shield the vulnerable big boy inside of them. They're extremely weak to fire, but unfortunately for me, I had apparently tossed all my fire bombs already, and pine resin doesn't work on a wooden club, although I think it should turn it into a torch. My lack of fire made this much longer and more annoying, but even so, it's still another leisure fight where you just walk around and look for openings to squeeze yourself into. Once the boss is exposed, there's nothing it can do, so you don't have to worry about stamina management. Number 14, Dragon God. This boss is technically easy when you figure it out because it's just stealth and activating turrets, but I was clueless forever and I don't think how it works is obvious at all if you've never done it before, not to mention the fact that half the time I got seen I was like, yeah, I should not have been seen there, and getting seen generally means you die instantly. If you put on the thief ring, I think you should be able to just walk the whole way over with him never even knowing you're there. You fire the first massive arrow and he's like, ow, who did that? Oh well, back to standing here. Then you fire the second one and he's like, why is this randomly happening to me? Falls over and then you can land the finishing blows on his chin horn, which he should not even have nerves in, so I don't know why that hurts. That's like if you were bleeding out on death's door and the person who attacked you walked over like, this will finish you, and then he just started clipping your fingernails and you died. My fingernails! The source of my power! Yeah, it's pretty dumb and it's not fun and I hate it. Number 13, Storm King. They really went hard on the gimmick fights in this game. In this battle, you gotta blast a bunch of stingrays out of the sky while Steve Irwin applauds you from beyond the grave. Just make sure you come in there with some free inventory space so you can pick up the sword the game wants you to use. Otherwise, you're gonna do some frantic item management while the weather forecast reads cloudy with a chance of deadly crystals. The Storm King is basically a B-52 bomber that flies overhead and launches mad projectiles at you, and the best part is there is virtually no telling whether or not your special sword's wind blast is going to hit him at any given time or not. I've hit him before I could even see him on screen, and I've missed him when he was 3 feet in front of me like I'm Mulan causing an avalanche. It's weird, but not difficult. Number 12, Maiden Astraea. I'd kill for whatever slippers this chick is wearing that make her immune to plague, cause it's all over this tunnel. Maiden Astraea resurrects a champion from beneath a putrid corpse pile to battle on her behalf, and if I were me, I'd take advantage of the narrow cliff he likes to stand on at first, cause it blocks a lot of his swings. Knocking him on his ass with my giant axe is always fun. There is a trophy for getting the Maiden's soul without killing the Jarl of Windhelm, or whatever his name is, and I have it even though I killed him, because soon after I killed him, I got infected with plague and took too long to sort my inventory, so I died, leaving her alone. I spawn back in, while the champion doesn't. I talk to the Maiden, during which she admits that I have killed her champion, and then the trophy's like, "Oh my god, great job getting the soul without killing the champion, we're so proud of you!" But yeah, you can just talk to her instead of attacking her, and she'll just give you the soul and disappear. Wish more bosses were like that. About to head back into the Leechmonger boss fight with my silver tongue and see how it goes. Number 11, Old Monk. I haven't seen a dress this fabulous on a man since we started having national conversations about masculinity. Harry Styles sure got old fast. How a dress the size of 2 continents manages to wrap tightly around somebody's head like a turban is beyond me, but this AI Black Phantom boss doesn't have much going on besides a repeatedly activated homing orb launcher that can be dodged as easily as you can turn left. It plays like a computer who acts like a computer that's trying to act like a human, because it does some human stuff, like parrying for no reason far away, or just walking at you menacingly, but then it also attacks small obstacles instead of just rolling through them, and you're like, yeah, no human being would ever do that. The red enemies up the staircase leading to this encounter are more annoying than the encounter itself. Number 10, Dirty Colossus. Hell yeah, they named a boss after my junk. The Dirty Colossus is a hulking rot monster full of maggots, so naturally the most effective strategy is to stay as close to him as possible. You can lure him into a rhythm of dodging under his arm swipes and then just play with him like a disgusting toy. I know we're 9 bosses deep into the rankings so far, but there really isn't much difference in difficulty between Dirty Colossus and anything that's come before it. Demon Souls bosses seem to be pretty easy, with only a couple exceptions, but they make up for it by ensuring that the distances you have to travel from the spawn point to the boss are as long and stupid as possible. Number 9, Armor Spider. Now that I am more knowledgeable about where to stand and when to roll, I would classify this battle as an easy one when done correctly, and oh my god, so annoying if you mess up. It's those goddamn webs. If you get webbed up either by the spider shooting it at you or just by you wandering into the sides of the arena, you can barely move, can't roll, and if the spider is gearing up to set the whole floor on fire, you're toasty, bro. It might be that swinging your weapon helps you break free, and getting hit by a fireball is a sure enough bet, but I had a fight once where he just webbed me up all day and night. I felt like a 2-bit criminal in the Miles Morales game. I was lucky the spider didn't turn invisible and electrocute me. You can roll through the spider's slice attacks with proper timing, or shield them if you're a shield person, and his slam attack can be dodged just by standing directly in front of him. His weak point is his little spider dick. At least I assume that's what it is, given all the sticky white stuff constantly shooting out of it. My right-hand weapon should have turned magic the entire fight. I call that an oversight. Alright, that's enough sex jokes. Let's class it up from here. Number 8, Penetrator. Alright, what do you honestly expect from me? We open on a guy getting reamed from behind while moaning and groaning, then the health bar shows up for the dude skewering him and says his name is the Penetrator. They know what they're doing. They wrote and directed this little play. The Penetrator might be my favorite boss to fight. He's only got like 4 attacks, but they all have different roll timing, and it makes you feel like you're participating in a dance. A dance of penetration. Both partners trying to penetrate the other, each skirting past the other's thrusts and glancing blows. It's penetration or bust. Maybe and bust in that case. I don't know how much shield damage this guy does, but rolling is definitely way more fun anyway. Number 7, Old Hero. Man, it sucks to be blind. You can't even see where you're going. The old hero uses his other enhanced senses to randomly swing his sword in any given direction hoping to find you. Unless you break a pot, in which case he homes in on your location faster than a predator missile can lock onto a school playground. His attacks are very dodgeable though, and he staggers easily from heavy weapons. I beat him first try because I'm clinically a G. It's in my medical records. Number 6, Vanguard Demon. Of the 2 bosses in the game that are meant to kill you for story purposes, this is the beatable one. I died to him the first time I fought him, so I had to go back later on a new character to get this footage. The Vanguard Demon does hella damage and has the HP of someone not quite obese enough to be immortal, but if you stay behind him, you can slowly attack him from the rear and whittle down his butthole until there is nothing left. I guess the Vanguard Demon is technically the first demon ever to perform the swiftly patented ass crash maneuver, so we'll give credit to an OG even if his droopy nipples are the stuff of nightmares. Number 5, Tower Knight. Of all the battles, this one might have the longest prep time, from each very lengthy trek up to the boss while dodging the most annoying dragon in video games, to the crowd work you're encouraged to do with all the perched archers when you get there, just to die in 2 hits from a shockwave that always has way more range than you think. There's a trophy for killing the Tower Knight without attacking the archers, which is what I do here, and let me tell you, it's quite annoying trying to dodge 8 bolts every 5 seconds. You can't be still for a moment, and healing takes a moment. You've got to nip at his heels like the ankle biter you know you are if you want anything good to happen. He'll eventually fall backwards, and with any luck his head won't be 10 feet deep into a wall because you need to hit that for the real damage. If he ever starts hanging out in a corner, you should draw him out before you knock him down. Otherwise you'll just watch him sunbathe for 10 seconds till he gets up. Number 4, Old King Allant. I think this is supposed to be the hardest boss in the game, but it's 4th. Old King Allant is like King Allant, but less dung-oriented. He moves a bit like the Nameless King, and also uses wind. Are they one and the same? I don't know lore. But like the Penetrator, Allant has his treasured few attacks and sticks to them, making him super learnable. A quick roll behind his lunging and jumping attacks, a quick hit when he tries to charge up his storm cloud, just hang back at a distance and wait for all your favorite moves to get baited out and you won't break a sweat. Number 3, Flamelurker. This boss has the most confirmed kills on me of anyone. You might think it should be number 1 in that case, but there are still other bosses who would have done worse if I didn't get lucky or briefly tap into my inner gamer god. The Flamelurker is one of the most aggressive and combo-heavy bosses in the game, which I can handle if it's not paired with fire AoE damage and questionable hitboxes. I feel like I still get clipped half the time I roll backwards to evade a fire slam. He's vulnerable at the ends of his combos, which extend and change as his health gets lower. He also sometimes does damage just by jumping backwards, and if you're particularly close in front of him or to the side, you'll take about 20% of your health and haha fuck you damage, the worst kind. It's probably best to save this boss for later, but the Digger place was the first one I picked after Boletaria, and I eventually made it work after about a 2-hour-long loop of using all my grass on the boss, dying, going somewhere else to farm souls to buy more grass, using half of it just to recover from being forced to take 8 instances of fall damage every time I dropped down the pit, using the rest on the boss, dying, etc. Number 2, Maneater times 2. Maneaters. The only real multi-target boss fight, if you don't count the Fool's Idols, which I don't because they're fake AF and I don't even follow them on Instagram, they're so fake. The Maneater's attacks and patterns are standard fare, but there's still 2 of them, and that doubles the amount of Maneaters there are. The handy little PS5 dashboard tips and tricks feature told me to stay in the center, so you can kite them around the brazier, and that helps them not both attack at the same time. Highly recommend the Regenerator ring, because there's a lot of downtime in this encounter where one or both of the Maneaters will just kind of fly around taking in the sights and forget they're trying to kill you. I was hyper-focused playing this. I made good decisions, took calculated risks, and after like 15 minutes of holy shit, this same fight is still happening, I finally won. Go me! Number 1, Leechmonger. I don't know how much of a wild card this pick is, because I don't know the community consensus, but for me, the Leechmonger was the most annoying trash in the whole game. If you don't have great DPS, he's just gonna heal more than you can deal while you squeal in frustration. You can't leave him alone for a second or he'll start regenerating. And every second you're near him, he just flails those squishy, sucky arms around which break through your shields and feel like too many hitboxes to roll all the way through. Not to mention your character's get-up time. Like, Jesus, are we hungover? You get knocked flat and it takes like 5 full seconds to tilt your head back up? Hello, dude, we're on the clock and you're swimming in a sea of leeches get motivated. Every time she's on the ground, I just imagine her going, 5 more minutes. It's so annoying. Not to mention we're constantly getting our blood drawn, so we often have to choose between staunching our own problems or preventing the Leechmonger from restoring a third of its health real quick. Certifiably hate this boss. The only tip I can think of is to just gain like 30 levels and come back when you can melt its HP bar. But that's going to do it for this boss ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Consider becoming a channel member to support financially and or tune in to whatever random streams I'm doing at random times. Go through my video catalog because I'm very bingeable, and I'll see you guys next time.